Actually, let's go ahead and record this for Kat. So yes, always put your name on everything. All right, so you have a list of vocabulary words, and then everybody has one page of this. You are going to need more of them. Thank you. But for right now, we're going to start with one. And what we're going to do is we're going to dissect this science vocabulary into these vocabulary squares. Now, you will love and you will hate these squares, and this is why. Number one, I'm very nitpicky about them. But the good news is that they are very effective. Like, they are really good. From before now and then probably until through high school, most of your teachers are going to tell you, like, look up your definition, write it down, and make a list. You will write it down, you will forget all about it, and it will have no impact on you. But with these boxes, what we're going to do is we're going to take each vocabulary word and we're going to break it down into 4 different methods. So go ahead and just join me. I'm going to go ahead and write my first word, and we're going to walk through this together. Okay, so my first word here is alchemist. So go ahead and do that on your page as well.
Do we have to do the same again?
When I write, you write, friend. Okay, so we're going to walk through this together so that you understand exactly what is expected of you on these. Now, the first part of this, which is writing the word and then copying down the definition, is pretty simple. So here in this first box, we're going to take that definition straight from the page I gave you, and you're going to copy it down. If you're a person with messy handwriting or big handwriting, this is your moment to take a breath and squeeze it in, okay? You need to be able to read this definition. And you also need to copy it correctly. Every single thing on this page gets credit. So if you do not correctly copy onto this page, yeah, not cool. So go ahead, and we're just all going to, you should have your own copy, or you can look up here. So I'm going to write down my definition: a name for people in the past who studied the combination of chemicals. That's enough. Just walk normally, bud. All right. So go ahead and fill that in. Just throw in your definition straight from your page.
Wait, did we write yours?
Okay, mine came from this. Everybody has this. It says alchemist, and then it has the definition. You are taking this definition, and you're going to put it right here in this first part of your square. You don't have to come up with this at all. You're just copying it. So this is going to be a super simple part of what we're doing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So after this, we've written down the definition. Now, it's important that you've read that definition and you understand it, okay? Because what's going to come next is you are going to really need to show that you understand what that word means. And you're going to have to do it in 3 more ways, right? So the first thing that you can do, and you can do these in any order, it does not matter to me at all, but I'll just go straight down. And this square asks for a synonym. Raise your hand, can you remind me, what is a synonym? Synonym or antonym? Those two go together. What is a synonym? Caleb?
Isn't it like 2 words that are like the same but just different spelling?
Exactly. Well, they're the same. Yeah, they're 2 different words, but they mean, like, they're similar, right? I always think synonyms the same, antonyms are opposites, right? So it would be like, she's a small girl, she's a tiny girl, she's a little girl, right? All of those words are synonyms. They mean about the same thing. You know, they can be replaced for each other. And so I'm going to be looking for a synonym or another word that I could substitute for the word alchemist. So if I look back up here again, I see a name for people in the past who studied the combination of chemicals. So if I focus on this, study the combination of chemicals, I'm going to think, now I know this is an old title, right? Who are some other people, like what are titles for other people who study the combination of chemicals?
I don't know how to spell it.
That's okay. You don't have to be able to spell it perfectly. Abdelise.
Scientist.
Okay, could be a scientist. I like that one.
That's what I was going to say.
Is there anything else? And here's another question. Can you have more than one synonym?
Yeah.
Absolutely you can, and you should. Because if you bring this to me and I say, yeah, that doesn't work, it would be really nice if you had some backups. Okay? So it could be that you have 3 and I say 2 of these don't work, but hey, one of them does. You're set. So again, someone who studies the combination of chemicals. So I've got a chemical, I've got another chemical, and I pour them together. Who does that kind of stuff? Who else? So we've got scientists. Who else combines chemicals to make things? Yeah, Mateo.
Biologists. Or no, what are the chemicals?
Say it again.
Biographers, they might do chemicals.
Biologist?
Yeah.
Well, that bio means life, so they're usually studying life. So, yeah, that's a good guess, though. Caleb?
A doctor?
Now, somebody else in the other class mentioned doctor, and I think that is a really good guess as well. Here's the problem. The doctor will prescribe chemicals or medicine that somebody else has already created. So they are connected to it, but they don't do it. They just say, hey, this pharmaceutical company made this. Go ahead and try it because you don't feel good. Yeah, Abdelise.
People who make hair products?
People who make hair products? Okay. So that could be a way that we're combining chemicals, but I'm looking for the title of the people who do. Now, again, it's a name for people. So focus. You're going to come back over and over and over to your definition. All right? Hawk?
A chemist?
A chemist.
Oh.
A chemist is someone who deals with chemicals, who combines them. Now, we've kind of put a little bit of an emphasis on medicine, right? But it doesn't have to be medicine. Like Abdelise said, it could be hair products. It could be something else. But people who, yes, that's a good one. They study it. Caleb.
Like lotion or like shampoo?
Those are definitely things that could be combined, but I'm looking for the people who do it. Mateo.
Ink?
Huh?
Ink?
Okay, y'all, again, now focus on what I'm saying. You are giving me a list of products that are combinations of chemicals. Focus on, and I'm going to bring you back to your definition over and over, and that's why you're going to hate this. A name for people who in the past studied combination. This is a job. This is a position. This is a title. I don't want to know what they're working on. I want to know who is doing it. Faith. Pharmacist. What is a pharmacist?
A person that like works with chemicals and medicine.
Yes, they're the people behind the counter at CVS or wherever you get your medicine. Now, I will say that pharmacist is a little because really what they do is they dispense or give out medicine, right? If I go in and say, I need my ADD medicine, and it happens every month, and they say, yes, Miss Span, right away, because you're a hot mess if you don't have it. So they say, oh, Dr. Charles gave you this many of it, and then they count them out and they make sure that I have what I need. They do that in the store. However, there are also pharmacists who research medicine and create medicine and improve medicine. So yes, I love that one. Great job. Anything else that you guys can think of? Abdelise. Factories create the products that have been studied, but they are not the people who study it. Is there anything else? I'm trying to remember if we came up with anything else in the other class. I think those are pretty good. Mateo?
Amazon? They might do stuff like that.
But again, This is a name for people who study the combination. So some of y'all are going to be very off track with this, and you're going to struggle. And I'm going to bring you back over and over and over. It is the person who combines the chemicals. Okay, the person who does it. All right. So we might be able to put like researcher or something else like that. But and these are going to be hard. The synonyms are going to be hard for some of these words because they're going to make you really think outside the box. All right. So next up, what I would do my sentence before I do my illustration. And let's talk about this sentence real quick. Now, what's important about this sentence is my expectation for you is that you write a sentence that explains to me what an alchemist is. You may not write a sentence that says, the alchemist went to a party with his girlfriend. That does not tell me what they do. Are you with me? You may not write, an alchemist is a name for people in the past who study you may not just like vomit out this definition. Okay? Don't do that. You need to use this word in a sentence, real life jargon, right? Where we're talking and we are showing that we understand what it means. Somebody tell me, what do you think? Abdulise.
The alchemist went to headquarters to find combinations for chemicals.
Okay, I like that one. She said the alchemist went back to headquarters to find more combinations for chemicals. Good. Hawk.
An alchemist went back to his laboratory to study on combining chemicals.
Okay, I like it. Caleb?
An alchemist went to his lab to go study chemicals.
Okay. Now make sure that we're talking about combining them. We're not just studying them. This person specifically is putting them together, mixing them to create something new, right? So be careful with that.
An alchemist went to his lab to go study chemicals to put them together.
There you go. I like it. Mateo, did you have something else? What'd you got?
Pharmacist. How do you say pharmacist?
Use pharmacist, but you're not going to use the word pharmacist. You're going to use the word alchemist.
An alchemist went to the lab to mix two chemicals.
Okay. Anybody else? Caleb?
An alchemist went to his lab because he studied two chemicals at home to see what they would create.
Okay.
And it was a cure for like a disease. So then he went to go.
That's a nice long sentence. I like it. It's got a lot of detail in it, though.
And then
no doubt in my mind what that is. Yeah.
And then he went to go put it together.
And put it together. All right, Mateo.
An alchemist found the cure to cancer.
By
By
so
mixing or putting together two pills.
all right. So whatever yours might say, I'm gonna kind of make up something that basically was like what you guys said. So the alchemist combined chemicals
It's the cure to cancer.
in his lab to see what they made. Okay?
What does it say, corn or cane?
Where?
Oh, that's
Combined? Can you read it?
Yeah, it kind of does look like.
So yours does not. So yeah, I probably need to separate them a little bit. Those letters. So yours does not need to look like mine. Some of you, if you gave me one and I said it's good, use yours. Okay?
Can I use yours?
You certainly can. But some of you came up with some really good ones, so there's no need to copy, and pretty soon you won't be able to. Okay? But yes, make sure that you have something like that in there. Again, this word has to be in your sentence. If a word alchemist is not in there, I'm going to give it back to you. You should only complete these 4 square vocabularies in pencil. or erasable pen, because you will be erasing, okay? And like I said, at first you're going to really hate them, but let me tell you what's going to happen when I give you a quiz on these words. You will know these words. You will know them, because for every spot that you fill in, you're coming back to that definition. And guys, by the time you provide an illustration or a picture for this word, look what you've done. You have defined the word. You've come up with alternate names for your word. You have used your word in an actual sentence, and you will have provided a visual for this word. So if you don't know this word by now, I don't know what else to do with you, okay? Like, you will know this word. My suggestion to you on this last part would be to make your illustration match your sentence, okay? So remember that word illustrate means to picture, right? Draw a picture of, like on the front of a book, it might say author and illustrator, right? They wrote the book, they drew the pictures for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in my lab here and I'm going to draw my alchemist. And I said that they're combining chemicals to see what they made. So I think I'm going to draw some chemicals, and I'm going to say plus, and I'm going to draw some chemicals. Might have, smoke coming out of them because I like to heat mine up. And they are going to equal whatever this is, and I'll just put a question mark.
Wait, so we can draw a sticker?
Oh yeah, listen, I have no expectation of you guys drawing like this beautiful artwork, okay?
Thank you so much.
However, I need to be able to tell what it is, okay? So you can tell that I have this plus this, and it equals, like, I've combined something, right? Again, this picture, this illustration needs to match your sentence. That's the best way for you to do it so that I can figure out what it is you are putting on there, okay? Any questions about what we're doing here? Any questions? Again, prepare to be nitpicked. Prepare for me to send you back, to send you back, to send you back. But the good news is I will give you a major grade for all of this work. And I promise that when it comes to quizzing you or testing you on this vocabulary, you will study the night before and you'll be like, oh, I don't even really need to study. Like, you will know your stuff. Okay? So, we won't just write down definitions. We're actually going to connect those words.
And then pulling out magical potion. Mine's pointing down. No, we're just imagine if we
Mine is holding a bottle.
Imagine.
From like,
So, what I want you guys to do, let's go ahead and I'm going to come over to my next square. My next word is experiment. I'm going to go ahead and write my definition. And then what I would like for you guys to do after you get that definition in is try to write down some synonyms for experiment. If you feel like you have that, go ahead and try to write the sentence. Then, I would wait and get approval on your sentence before you start working about the illustration. But let's see what you've got. Okay, come up with some things and let's see how you do by yourself, and then we will check them together. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and write my definition, and then we'll pop back in when you guys have some answers and some ideas.
Write on definition.
All right, so hopefully you have your definition from, again, this page. I'm not making you find these definitions anywhere, right? You are just copying that definition. Now, when you look at this, notice the definition. On that first one, we emphasized people because that's what our definition said. This one says, a test used to discover new information about a question. So we're trying to find information and answer a question. We're going through a process of finding information in order to answer a question. Right? If I said, how many freckles does Abdelise have on her nose? you would have to do something to find out how many freckles she had. I'm not asking you to guess. I'm not saying freckle inspector, right? You would have to go and you would have to count them. You would have to compare how many each of you counted, right? So again, what am I doing in this definition? What's the point of it? You're creating a test used to discover new information about a question. So we are answering a question, and it's not just we don't know the answer. We have to figure out the answer. So where else do we do that? We experiment to try to find an answer to a question. How else do we find the answer to a question that when we just don't know the information? Faith, did you have an idea?
I did, but I said
Okay, we'll come back to you. Mateo?
I have cinnamon.
What?
No.
What you got for synonym?
Explore. Experiment. You have to explore like.
I like the word explorer, but an experiment. But let me hold on to this because I'm going to nitpick you again. Remember? So I like that word. I like that you picked it. However, an experiment requires steps, right?
Yeah.
Like we're going to be very specific. We want in that question. We want to know how many freckles there are. So I'm not just going to go explore. I need to find out how many freckles there are, so I need to be really specific about what I'm doing to answer that question. So I'm going to nix that one, but I think that was a really good idea. Yeah, Hawk.
I have cinnamon.
Okay, what you got?
Research. I call
Research.
Research. Wait. Can you put 2 words for cinnamon?
There might be a place where you have to put a phrase like that, but yeah. Research. Oh,
Researcher.
and I just did it. Researcher is a person. Research is the act of experimenting or trying different things in order to answer a question, right?
Oh, so that would what verse?
So I would accept that one. What else? Caleb, did you have a different one?
This doesn't make sense, but
Mhm.
you can't put like that many words on synonym and go outside to like explore. But I just put go outside.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what Mateo said too, that whole explore. And I'm looking because if I said our class had an experiment to figure out how many insects it takes to clean something. I wouldn't say our class had an explore. Our class explored to see.
We examine.
Okay, that could be a part of your experiment, but it doesn't replace experiment. Think about what an experiment does. Think about we're testing, we're doing different things to discover new information.
Information?
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for information. I like how you're thinking. Keep going from there. Nathan, do you have an answer for me back there? Because I just hear you talking, so you got an answer?
No thanks.
Mateo? No thanks.
Create.
Okay. Create is a possibility. It's a possibility, but again, if I was going to create my sentence with the word experiment and said our class had an experiment to discover if blah, 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 how would I replace the word create with that? Right? Are you listening to me? Nathan?
To experiment,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
This is a hard part, so if you're struggling right now, don't get discouraged.
like to experiment, like the horse's lungs.
Yes, that would definitely be something we would use, we would experiment with. Yeah.
Do you know what those people call who like bring back information down
Bring back information? Like from where?
Like, if there's a new animal that the world just discovered.
Oh,
Like, I don't
yeah.
know if people who, like, go there and find that animal. and
Gotcha.
Get
It depends on what kind of animal it is, yeah. So,
Like, let's do land animals. Land.
I mean, it just depends on who discovers. That's a great question. I'm not sure. Hold on to that though. Yeah, Hot.
A model of the question.
What if we performed a test? Our class performed a test to see what would happen with this, right? We performed a test to see how many freckles were on her nose. Okay, so let's think along that way. Caleb?
What could one of my synonyms be a test?
Yep, that's what I would. Oh, I'm sorry, I just wrote that, but I didn't show you. Yes. So research,
You
test.
said test.
What about scientists? Doesn't a scientist do the same thing with an experiment?
They do, but a scientist and an experiment are two different things. The scientist may be the person performing the experiment, but the experiment is different.
You like told me one because you said like something about like test,
Mm-hmm.
and then that made like sense in my brain.
Yeah, so, and again, we get back to the definition. We want to discover new information about a question. So, what if, okay, Caleb, you got another one?
Wait, are we doing can we do sentence now?
No, I want you to keep thinking, because what if I don't take these? I want you to think synonyms for a little bit longer.
We need one more.
Because this is where I'm digging through and I'm helping you figure these out. Now, I'm thinking, I'm thinking like science experiment, right? Could it be like a science project? Could we complete a project to show
No way we can think of
in order to find new information about a question, right? So we may just have an entire project, just like we would an experiment, where we take steps in order to find new information. Yeah, Dr. Lise.
Can I put, we could watch
Bill Nye, that guy, for sure.
Yeah.
Here's the last one that I'm going to give you that you may not have thought of. Listen. So I'm going to give you the word trial, and now we have, words that mean, they sound the same, spell the same, homophones, right, that mean different things. So you might think of a trial as like a lawyer and a judge. But I'm thinking of a trial where they may invite people in to try new medicine. So it could be like, I think, trial and error, right? You have people come in with cancer, and half of them get the real drug and the other half get what they call a placebo, which means it's kind of like a sugar pill. Nothing there, nothing real. And they go through this trial and they discover new information about that medicine. How do people react to it? So it could be a trial where we're going through and we're seeing what happens, kind of like you would in a legal trial, okay? So you probably would not have thought of that one, but I'm just throwing it out there. Any other thoughts on that? Okay, so that takes us to sentence, and I heard somebody say, can we get to the sentence? So I need to use the word experiment in my sentence, and again, look at that definition. A test to discover new information about a question. So make sure when you give me this sentence that I can understand exactly what an experiment is. Don't say she won first place with her science experiment. Don't do that. You got to include the definition. Caleb, you're on fire today. What you got?
I experimented with two potions to create the cure for cancer.
I like it. He said, I experimented with 2 potions to create a cure for cancer.
Are we doing sentences?
We're on sentences. Somebody else got one.
Oh, I got one.
Nathan had your hand up, huh?
Are we experimenting? Alright.
Yeah.
I want to experiment one potion
Mm-hmm.
for another potion to get stronger, and then put those 2 potions into one potion to make the ultimate potion.
Okay, I want to experiment with
3 potions.
combining potions to see if I can make a stronger potion. I like that. I like that. Anything else? Yeah, it's kind of like the chemical one, but it's okay. I mean, yeah, Hawk.
We can experiment on
On what?
an alien.
Okay, what's the question you're trying to get information about? What does that mean? What are you doing to the alien?
Like seeing what it eats.
Okay, use that in a sentence. Abdulise.
I experiment with chemicals to find I experiment with chemicals to find a cure for black plague.
I like it.
Wait, what do you say?
I experiment with chemicals to find a cure for black plague.
I like it. It's dark and also kind of sad, but yeah. Okay, Mateo.
Exactly what I
Experiment
wanted.
on a hamburger to make a protein bar.
Oh, I experimented on a hamster to make a protein bar.
Ooh, I don't want to try that.
So maybe you're not making a protein bar, but maybe you're checking for allergies in a protein bar.
He said hamburger.
Hamburger?
Yeah.
I don't want to try
I don't know what
that.
that
I don't
means.
want to try
Yeah.
that.
Experiments like he turned his hamburger into a protein bar.
Wow. That's just really very, very, very nasty.
So
Maybe. I mean,
so let's throw one together.
I would eat it.
But yeah.
We
My tooth just fell out.
okay, 1 second. Experimented to see which shampoo got dirty hair cleanest, right? All right. Mateo, come over here and we'll send you to the nurse to get a box.
It doesn't taste good.
First reaction.
I like the taste of blood.
It tastes like fake metal.
I like the taste of blood.
Here you go.
I like the taste of blood.
All right. So, last but not least, listen, Lindis. All right. So now I'm going to, let's see, I said we experimented to see which shampoo got dirty hair cleanest. So I'm going to draw somebody with some hair. And I might just do,
Are those like big rainbows?
that's dirty hair. Okay. And then I'm going to do
It looks like clouds.
shampoo 1. And this is shampoo 2.
It looks like clouds on bald
I'm
people's
gonna
heads.
put a hamburger 1 and hamburger 2.
All right, so whatever yours is going to look like, hopefully by reading my sentence you might realize that these are shampoo bottles. I don't know, whatevs. But that will give you an idea, okay, of what we're looking for, what I would like for us to do is we're going to go ahead and stop with this. And tomorrow, when we come in, we will do a few more. Okay? By which I mean you will do a few more. Okay? We'll throw some more words in and go from there. So we put 5B here. Missing Cat. So we will send her this video and get her caught up.